Hi everyone, welcome back to the next diecast. In today's video, I'll be unboxing, building, and reviewing this 1/24 scale Lamborghini Terzo Millenio model kit made by Maisto, or Maisto, depending on how you want to say it. I got this model kit from Amazon Warehouse Deals for just over $13 in total. The regular price for this is around $19 or $20, but because it was from Amazon Warehouse Deals, I did get a slight discount for it. And Warehouse Deals items tend to have like damaged packaging or were returns. In this case, this model did have the damaged box in the back there, as you can see. But besides the damage, this is a new in the box kit. So I was able to get it for that discount. I've actually had this since like late January, so I haven't really gotten around to building it until now. So I thought, why not go ahead and finally build it. So Maisto has made this kit for a few years now, and Barago also makes a fully built version of this in their 1/24 scale line. And that comes in both this gray that you see here as well as a bright green. And the Barago and Maisto models, I think, are pretty much the same, except for the fact that the Maisto model comes as a kit like this, and the Barago version comes already built. So, as you can see, it's in kind of the standard Maisto assembly line box. You have a picture of the finished model on the side, and on the other side here, there's the Amazon Warehouse Deal sticker that thanks me for buying this thing. Then on the back, you have kind of a picture and sort of a photographic inventory, I guess, of all the parts you get with the kit. This does only come with one set of wheels as opposed to two. Most of these Maisto kits will come with two sets of wheels. But on this one, it looks like the wheels are actually in two separate components, and then you put them, of course, inside the tires. So kind of a unique kit in that sense. Then you have that Lamborghini sticker back there, and you see there's no glue or paint required. That's kind of the nice thing about these Maisto kits. You don't have to do any of those extra steps like that. And then on the bottom, just all the different licensing information and everything. So, and then as you can see, it's packed how you would generally see a Maisto assembly line model packed. You have the body kind of fastened up on this platform here. Then you have the screwdriver back there, because all of these kits do come with a screwdriver, which is kind of cool. Then you have the wheels kind of mounted on there, and the rest of the parts are actually down at the bottom part of the box. So we'll go ahead and get this opened up, see what we got in terms of parts, and then we'll start our build. Pull this out. There we go. Alright, there's the tray with all the smaller kind of pieces in there. This is somewhat organized. You have all the different like wheel components in one section, all the very tiny screws and everything in like another separate compartment. I do like how these are kind of laid out and everything when you do get the kit. Here's the base of the model. Looks like this is held down by a rubber band or something. And here's the interior pan, kind of in its own little baggie. Put this back here. And there's the body of the car along with the wheels. So I'm gonna pop all that out. And here's the instruction sheet that you get here. It's almost like Lego instructions where you have, all the different arrows pointing to where the parts go and everything. I've always kind of liked the layout of these assembly line instructions. This one's actually a pretty easy kit to build compared to the other kits that Maisto sells. There's only one page as opposed to two because there are less parts in general. So this will be, I think, a quicker build compared to the other Maisto model kits I've gotten, but I think it should be fun nonetheless. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out and get out the wheels too. All right, here is the parts all unboxed and everything. And of course, Maisto does give you a screwdriver, which is always nice. I now have maybe like 6 of these things just from all the different model kits I've bought over the years. So we'll go ahead, and here's the body, by the way. You only get opening doors on here, unfortunately, but at the same time, I don't really mind that because I don't even know if on the real car you can open up any other parts aside from the doors. This was actually a concept vehicle from 2017. And the original concept vehicle was in kind of this gray that you see here too. I believe the only models you can get of the Terzo Millenio are this 1/24 scale model as well as the version made by Barago and the 1/64 scale version that Maisto makes in blue. So cool model. I already can tell it's going to be a fun building experience, even though it does have, less parts and less steps than other model kits. So it looks like for the first steps here, we insert these two number 63 intakes, I guess they are. I'm not really sure what they're called, behind or next to the engine cover here. So we're going to go ahead and complete that first step there. All right, the next step was to assemble these three pieces together to kind of form the rear axle assembly, which I've already done here. As you can see, there's this axle piece itself, and then you actually have two plastic pieces underneath that you kind of put together as one. And then you put on these two small screws, and then to finish off that step, you just go ahead and screw them in using the screwdriver that Maisto supplies you. So it was kind of difficult to figure out which way the pieces went, but I was able to do it. So I'm just gonna screw these in right now. All right, got that screwed on. You can see here's the spinning axle back here. Just kind of move back and forth a bit. Up next, we have this kind of convoluted step involving the interior here. You have to kind of put all these different pieces on there. So we're going to go ahead and kind of do that next. It looks like they're all actually part of this baggie here. So I'm going to open up the baggie and then kind of do this step that they're showing next. Okay, I see what this is now. You have the steering wheel, which is this thing here. That goes on there, and then you have these headrests on there as well. And this is kind of like the trim, I guess, that goes around the whole entire thing. There's actually a second piece. Yeah, this one here, center console maybe or something. I'm not really sure, but all these go together on there. So, oh wait, and there's this one too. It's actually a lot of pieces for an interior setup. So this is the next step. I'm gonna go ahead and do that next. All right, here is the interior all completed. You have the steering wheel, you have this component here, this kind of frame, and then the headrests as well. Kind of an unusual looking interior, very futuristic looking for sure. But that was made up of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different pieces. That's actually the most I think I've seen for an interior build, I should say, on a Maisto model kit. And then up next, it looks like we put on the interior with the body, or we unite the interior piece with the body. And then we put on this piece here, and then we assemble the rear wheel set. So we'll go ahead and do that next. All right, there's the wheels. Just got to put them on the car back here. Like so. Push it in place. There's not much clearance between the wheels and the wheel wells, as you can see here, but at least they do still roll, I suppose. But yeah, we got those on there along with this kind of large piece that goes above the wheels and kind of fastens on kind of the center portion of the model here. And then for the last step, we have the base. Well, the second to last step, we have the base, and then we have kind of where we put that, looks like the front bumper portion or something, not really too sure. And then for the second to last step, we have all these different things, including putting the whole body onto the base. So we'll go ahead and do that one next. All right, got these kind of side intake pieces fastened in place. Now the next step is actually pretty difficult. It's putting this base on, but I gotta somehow hook these two front, I guess, components underneath the front. As you can see here, yeah, it's like kind of this little tiny notch. I gotta somehow fit that in place. So I'm gonna try doing that next. Then we'll finish off by putting on these two front wheels. All right, we got our last step here, which is putting on the front wheels. I do like the styles of these wheels. The rims kind of really bring out the, I think, unique look of the car with kind of that unique style of rim too. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those on the axle, and then we are complete with the project. And there's the finished model. It looks awesome. All right, here is the Terzo Millenio all finished up and built up here. This is a really cool looking model. I think in general, Maisto did do a good job with this model, and this build was definitely, I think, quicker than other similar 1/24th scale model kits made by Maisto. But again, there was a lot less, I think, parts in general for this particular model, but nonetheless, I think it was a fun build in general, and I think the details on here are fairly well done. One thing I will say is that these gull-wing doors are actually made out of kind of a thin plastic, if I can get these open here. And they also fall shut like that too. So that's probably like my main, I guess, complaint about this model. And the Burago pre-built version, I assume, is gonna have kind of a similar issue where the doors are kind of a thin plastic. They're also hard to get open too, as you can tell as I struggle here. Carefully, yeah, it's just gonna keep doing that. But yeah, I mean, it's okay that they are plastic, but I feel like maybe having a bit of a thicker plastic construction, I guess, for the doors would have been nice to have. But I get that, they kind of had to do it in plastic because this whole entire area here is, clear like you would see on the real Terzo. You have the huge windshield here and kind of the windows and all that. Although, look, there is a pillar right here. So I believe on the real Terzo, this would actually be metal, but Maisto actually kind of just painted on like the different pillars between the windshield frame and the rear portion of the car. But I guess it probably would have been hard for them to make this part metal and then have the doors also work. I don't know. This is a very unusual supercar. It was a one-off concept. This is the only large-scale model you can actually get of this car, aside from the pre-built version made by Barago, which also comes in bright green, by the way. I think I already said that. But so, yeah, I mean, aside from the doors that are hard to keep open and hard to close and all just hard to use in general, I think the car does look very well done, especially when you have it up on the shelf with other Lamborghini models. In the front here, you do have, the nice-looking Y-shaped headlights like you would see on the real car. The Lamborghini Sion kind of has similar shaped lights and everything. They are done in plastic pieces. Then you have that nice Lamborghini badge on the front there, which looks very well done. Then you have some different lettering down here, which the real car would have. The paint, I would say, is excellent. It's kind of a matte metallic gray. This is what the original concept car was actually painted in, and I think Maisto did an excellent job with that. Not so much on the doors, because you can tell that they're plastic based off the slightly lighter texture of gray paint on them. But from a far distance, you really can't tell, unless you look at it like closely, kind of like I was just doing. And the wheels, of course, look awesome. They were kind of fun to build and put on the car. Although the back wheels were a bit difficult, because at one point the one wheel wouldn't spin. You have to kind of stick them on a certain way or else the whole axle won't spin, because there is very little clearance between the wheel well and the tire and the rim itself when you actually install them on the car. So just keep that in mind. But all my models pretty much sit up on the shelf anyway, so I'm not going to be rolling it around or anything like that. But I mean, aside from that, the detail on the wheels I think is excellent. All different colors and textures going on. Then you have the very accurate looking spokes and everything. And then you have that nice kind of Lambo badge in the centers of each of those as well. Then you have these intakes on here too, which as you saw were separately installed on the car. They're done in kind of a rougher plastic texture. I guess to kind of simulate carbon fiber or something. I'm not really too sure on that. And then you have these two kind of little fins back there that say 63 on them. I'm not sure what the significance of that number is, but I do know that the Lamborghini Sion also has little number 63s on it. Perhaps that was the year that Lamborghini was founded. I'm not really too sure on that. But the real car has them, and Maisto does have them on here, and they were separately installed as part of the build, which was cool. You have some engine detail back there, a slight bit. Nothing opens back here, but I do kind of like that because you have kind of a nice, almost seamless look with the rear portion of this car, so I think that looks good. Then back here, nice detailing with the tail lights as well. Again, they're kind of Y-shaped like the headlights are. Then you have the very small Lamborghini inscription kind of in the center of that. It's almost like a reflective texture to it too, like it's an actual badge, but of course it is just embossed on there. And then of course you do have the opening doors. Let's see if I can get it to stay up. All right, that one's staying up a little bit. We'll see if we can get this one open now too. There we go. And it fell down again. This is frustrating. But at least here's the one door that's open. When the gull-wing doors do work, they are pretty cool. And you can see into the interior, at least from this side here. Not really a whole lot to see in terms of detail. It's kind of hard to focus there, but there's that unusual shaped steering wheel and steering column. That was a separate piece as part of the build. Then you have kind of the center stack in there too. The cool looking seats and all that as well. It's kind of a black and white interior. It's just hard to see between one, the doors are gull-wing doors, and two, you have kind of this tinted glass going on here. I'll kind of hold this up, I guess, and you can kind of get a better look in there. But yeah, there's the seats and everything. Nice texture and whatnot. And then you do have the separately cast headrest, which you do install, as you did see for my build here. There's a kind of better look at that steering wheel, or steering yoke, I guess we should call it. Then you have some nice texturing on the floors in there as well. All right, here we go. Here's the doors both open. So there's a nice thumbnail shot right there, I suppose. And again, when the doors do stay open, they look really cool. I bet if I were to put this on the shelf like this one door would probably fall shut overnight. But I'm sure that was just a factory defect for my model. As you did see on the unboxing portion, the strap that was holding the doors shut did kind of slide down to the front of the car. So I assume during shipment, this door got shaken around a bit or something. But if you get this model new in the box and not from Amazon warehouse deals, well, mine was new in the box technically, but the box was a bit damaged. You probably won't have that same issue with the doors. But when this model is up on the shelf, it looks very menacing, very cool. And I think if you can look past some of the minor defects, like the very thin doors that don't stay up, and a couple of, the build quality issues, like with trying to fit the wheels on back here and stuff like that. I think the build itself is very fun, and the finished model does look very cool, especially when put next to other 1/24th scale supercars. So if you can find this model kit for a good price, I would say definitely go ahead and get it. I think as long as you're paying under $22 for it, you're getting a good deal, and the build is definitely fun. So feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on the model here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.